Hello and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Owen, the channel that brings you your team every single day. The channel is run by the fans for you, the fan. Guys, it's all about you. It's about giving you the latest news, the latest updates, latest speculation, transfers, rumours, statements, updates from the club, live streams during the season, podcasts, and all that for absolutely nothing. We don't believe in charging you for that content. We don't believe that you should pay for that content. We believe as fans you should have the right to access that content. That is the aim of this channel. So if you have not yet done so, please hit that sub or ring that notification bell. And if you can give the video a like at the end, I would really appreciate it. Well, obviously, there's a lot of stories still swirling around Rangers at this moment in time. Boys are still abroad in Germany, working on the pre-season fitness, working through the pre-season tactics, working through all the pre-season to get the team ready for the 2023-2024 SPFL season. Also, those big friendlies that are coming up against Newcastle, against Olympiacos, against Hamburg, and against TSG Hoffenheim. Now, the story that obviously dominated yesterday was the signing of Leon Balogun, very much felt to be a signing in response to the injury to Scott Wright. Sorry, not Scott Wright. Leon King, wrong person, my apologies. The injury to Leon King with a suspected broken ankle. Balogun rejoins Rangers. I think, we all know how much Leon loves the club, how much that he didn't want to leave the club. Maybe that was a mistake by Ross Wilson, amongst many mistakes that Ross made during his time at Ibrox. Leon Balogun, though, talking to the media yesterday and for the website, said the following: "I'm just excited, to be honest. I'm just really happy to be back at Rangers. It feels like I'm coming home. Since I've left, I've always felt a lot of appreciation and love from the friends I've made in Glasgow and around the club." It's clearly obvious, isn't it? The high esteem that Leon holds Rangers in, how much he loves being here, how much he loves the club, and how much he wants to be here. And I've often said, in comments and thoughts about players that come in over this summer, that that we want players that want to be here, that want to fight for the jersey, that want to fight for the crest, that want to fight for us fans, and share the same passion on the pitch that we would show if we were out there playing for Rangers. And I think Leon is obviously showing that. Michael Beale also praised Leon Balogun and praised obviously his previous work for the club, and spoke in glowing terms about Leon. Quite how Balogun will be used this coming season, who knows? But very much I think cover for Leon King, joins that centre back room with Ben Davis, John Suter, and Connor Goldson, who is obviously very much, I think Connor Goldson is the top centre back at the club. Now, the fourth official, however, has tweeted out. The fourth official, someone who seems to have some inside knowledge on different things and finds out different things. He's tweeted out, obviously, about Leon Balogun, but went on to say that his impression from what he has heard and from sources that Rangers are anxious to push through the Jose Cifuentes and Jonathan Panzo deals as soon as is possible. Now, the Cifuentes deal has certainly been a saga that has been ongoing over this summer. It is known apparently that Cifuentes has agreed personal terms with the club. And it is very much down to the fact that the LAFC are haggling over a fee with Rangers, with obviously Jose Cifuentes could possibly moving for free in January. LAFC anxious to get some cash for him, but are in obviously a very weak bargaining position. As for Panzo, those negotiations seem to be going very slowly at the moment, as Rangers try to negotiate with former sporting director Ross Wilson, who is now sporting director at Nottingham Forest. Personally, I'd love to see these two come in as soon as is possible. Fuentes, obviously, will bring talent, will bring style, will bring skill, will bring the ability to play killer through balls, also get stuck in the tackle, box to box ability as well. I think will really add to that midfield alongside the likes of Nicholas Raskin, Todd Cantwell, Ryan Jack, for example. As for as for Jonathan Panzo, I think that is a deal that needs to be done as soon as possible too. At this moment in time, John Suter and Connor Goldson are very much first choice centre halves, but Jonathan Panzo is certainly someone who can come in and put pressure on them, and obviously add to that centre back room. I think perhaps Leon Balogun wouldn't have been signed if Panzo had already been signed and was already at the club. But this again appears to be a deal that is dragging on. So we need to get this Panzo deal done as soon as possible. And that certainly seems to be what the fourth official is saying. Also news today as well about Scott Wright. Now, Rangers are keen to get Scott a move away from the club, but at present there doesn't appear to be any takers for him. Move to Preston obviously fell through. Preston have since signed two attacking midfielders who can also play wide as well, appearing to obviously rule out Scott going to Preston. There appears to have also been a dry up in offers for him from south of the border. So, quite what's going to happen with Scott, who knows at this moment in time. I think there's a lot of talk around Rangers and around Rangers fans and Rangers media that they're hoping that Steven Gerrard will come in and do his former coach Michael Beale a bit of a favour and obviously come and sign him for the Saudi Arabian team Al Ettifaq or whatever it's called. I'm massacring the name again, I know, but Scott Wright is certainly someone the club want to move on as soon as is possible and get a decent fee for him. That's the other thing, don't want to let him go for nothing. Don't want to let him go for a bargain fee. And also, I think, if you sell to Saudi Arabia, that's somewhere you can obviously get a top price, as the Saudis, like I said on multiple occasions, seem to know the price of everything and the value of nothing. So, yeah, definitely hope that Wright can be moved on. There is a need to move players on. The squad is way too big, as I've said previously. And I think there is a drive within the club at this moment in time that if Michael Beale is going to sign any more big money or bigger money signings, he does need to raise funds first. That appears to be the message that is coming out of the board and coming out of the club at this time. Glenn Kamara, rumours continue to persist. Now, on the video earlier, we talked about the fact that Besiktas were allegedly in for him, and Senol Gunes, who is the Besiktas manager, has apparently sanctioned a move for Kamara. However, it was also been rumoured that Leeds now have possibly entered the fray to try and sign him. Leeds, who were relegated to the Championship, are looking for reinforcements to bolster a push for promotion straight back to the Premier League. So, could Kamara be on his way to Leeds now, given the fact that English clubs, and especially Leeds, who've got the parachute payments and have come down with all those multi-millions, will have extra funds? You certainly can probably get closer to that asking price of 4.7 million that Rangers want for Kamara. So that could well be a deal that that could be pushed through. Leeds do appear to hold an interest, as do apparently Sheffield United and Southampton as well, all from south of the border. So I think there definitely needs to be a push there to try and get these English clubs involved. The more you can get the English clubs involved, the higher possibly you can raise the price. Particularly, like I said, there's the Leeds and also Southampton have those parachute payments, and Sheffield United are newly promoted to the Premier League. So obviously have that Premier League pot of gold now at Bramall Lane to spend on players. So we could well obviously see Kamara. So Kamara and Wright, definitely two players that that we do need to move on. And it appears that Kamara has obviously demanded a transfer now and demanded a move away. He's clearly seen, I think, from the transfer rumours going around and the fact that Rangers have signed players who can play midfield like Kieran Dowell, that there is really no future for him at the club. And if he wants to get first team football, if he wants to obviously maintain his international career, he needs to play first team football. And that is something he is not going to get at Rangers. And I think you saw, didn't you, as well, that after the Viaplay League Cup final, when he was so poor, he got very limited opportunities. So it's clear that Michael Beale did not have any trust in him as a player. And he got that Hearts game rather bizarrely at Ibrox to, I don't know, in a way, say goodbye maybe. But, Wright and Kamara, for me, are players that we desperately do need to move on as soon as is possible from the club. Stories in the media as well today that Michael Beale may well reignite his interest in Haji Wright, the American striker currently at Antalyaspor, and still with Antalyaspor, has not been signed by any other teams in Europe or any elsewhere around the world as of yet, as of time of recording. This appears to be a response to the fact that the Danilo deal is now dead by all accounts, with Danilo speaking very much in terms of his future at Feyenoord, and talking to Feyenoord media about how he's looking forward to the new season at Feyenoord and looking forward to helping them defend their Eredivisie title. So could Haji Wright be someone who could come in Certainly, again, I think if there are players sold, I think that is the key thing. And Antonio Cholak been one of those. He is certainly, I think, Haji Wright, someone who could come in and play for Rangers and make a big difference as well. He's quick, he's good in the air, he's skillful. He scored 15 goals last season in Turkey in 27 appearances, I think it was. He scored whilst he was on loan there. He has a track record of scoring goals and does seem to hold a number of admirers around Europe. Villarreal were reportedly interested in him as well. But Michael Beale does seem to have a real interest in Haji Wright. And has had him watched apparently as well. So could Haji Wright be someone that we bring in? Could be that heir apparent to add, obviously, that player that we can add to the signing of Cyril Dessers, Sam Lammers, and Abdallah Sima. Haji Wright, a little bit unconvinced by him. He has scored goals. He has a good goal scoring record, but it is in Turkey. But I suppose those goals were for quite a poor team in Antalyaspor, not one of the big teams in Turkey. Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, Besiktas, they're the big teams in Turkey. Antalyaspor are definitely not one of the bigger teams. So he gets goals for them. It's very much a difficult question, but I do think that any move for Haji Wright will not come unless Rangers sell one of the forwards they have already got on their books at the club, probably namely Antonio Cholak. So I would imagine that if we do move for Haji Wright, it would be after any sale of someone like Antonio Cholak. Well, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below of the stories that we've had today. Whether you put this video up in the morning or in the afternoon or the evening, whenever you've chosen to pick up on the latest Glasgow Rangers news. Bit of a briefer, obviously, thing. I am obviously out and about away from my computer equipment, but as always, like to try and bring you the latest stories. Like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Love reading your comments and responding to them. And remember, there's two things I need you to do, guys. Smash that like, and remember, we are the people.